Celebration of Nations is usually a September event for 3 days at the FirstOntario PAC. We're happy to have a bonus chance to celebrate 3 Indigenous musical performers next Saturday, April 9th at the same venue. We welcome Michele-Elise Burnett to the studio, one of the organizers. This is the first time we've had an event like this. I understand it's been one of your visions, one of your dreams for Celebration of Nations for quite some time.
Absolutely. Ever since we brought Celebration of Nations to life, it has been in the back of my mind of saying this is the perfect platform to showcase our incredibly talented Indigenous musicians, songwriters.
You had originally hoped to hold this past September, did you not?
This past September, the September before,
yes.
The September before that. But unfortunately, just with programming and of course COVID, a lot of things, had to be postponed or pushed.
Can you tell me about these artists? So 3 artists, how did you find them?
Well, I've been kind of following a little bit of Leila Bell. She's Métis, and I was actually a judge on one of the contestants, and I listened to her, and she was just amazing. And she ended up going to an agency up in Six Nations, so I was able to track her down there. And just an incredible young voice, but I'm looking forward to hearing her develop that voice over time. But right now, she has like Katy Perry sort of sound, and she's winning quite a few awards right now and making her mark in her trail. Jace Martin's been around forever.
I understand he has 8 albums, and I've never been exposed to his music before.
I'm so glad that we are going to be able to showcase this incredible talent right from Six Nations. He's Mohawk. He's been in the industry doing television, film, music since he was 11 years old. And he's the only one, an Indigenous musician that is a top 40 and Billboard in the US. So, and this year, he is up for, I believe it's 5 or 6 NAMI Awards, which is a Native American Music Awards.
Fantastic. And our last one, now when you look at Leila Bell and Jace Martin, they're very country music oriented in most of their music. Mimi Obansewin, am I saying that name right?
Mimi Obansewin, yes.
Her music is really, I would say, earth-centered, very organic.
Very organic. And it's a combination of her French and Abenaki roots. A lovely person. You can feel her soul when she sings, and she really does perform in that sort of way as well. Like you said, organic is perfect.
She also composes for television shows. Ray Donovan, for instance, is one of the shows that carried some of her music.
Exactly, I know. So we're very fortunate. We have such an amazing lineup of incredible musicians, songwriters, and this is where they'll be able to, unplug and sit around in a circle and just talk about their lyrics and how they came about with this song, and play a little bit one by one and sharing that music and that camaraderie on stage.
That's what one of my next questions is going to be, is how is the night going? Is there a headliner? But it sounds like no, it's really almost like a songwriter's circle kind of feeling.
A little bit like that Nashville sort of rounds that they would have. The only difference is Jace Martin, already an established artist, so bringing in emerging young artists like Mimi Obansewin and Leila Bell, then they're also kind of mentored by an established artist who will kind of lead the program, and each of them will take their turn and talk about their songs, their lyrics, and this is it's an unplugged, it's kind of a raw version of their songs, so it's something very special, very dynamic. Some of these songs will be really poignant, they'll be sad, they could be humorous, they tell a story.
This is something that I think you are probably hoping to do each and every year with some different musicians. Am I right that that is in the works somehow?
Absolutely, absolutely. We already have another one right now earmarked for Thursday before Celebration of Nations. And we do have the funding from, just generously from the Shimizu Foundation. That's Jill is my partner in crime in this, who's also in the music industry and does many, many showcases here in the Niagara region. So we've come together and partnered to put this on.
Michele-Elise, I would see this as a perfect touring kind of vehicle as well. Like, you know, when you find three musicians such as these three, maybe to take them to some smaller venues or similar sized venues across Ontario, would that be something you're thinking of?
With this one here, and I think that's a great idea. So let's just flip it a little bit, because you're on the right track. Once again, is finding that platform for our Indigenous musicians and songwriters to showcase, because a lot of times they don't have that opportunity. And what an incredible opportunity to be performing at the Performing Arts Centre, just state of the arts. So we will be live streaming this and inviting all the other PACs to join in, and also different venues to come and join in and to listen to these incredible musicians, and hoping that they will then be booked at their locations. So very similar. We're going to continue to do this so that we can constantly promote and lift and support our incredible artist.
Perfect ideas. Logan Statz is an Indigenous artist that I was lucky enough to see perform at a venue in Toronto. He has made some waves as an Indigenous musician. There have been a few as well. Mm-hmm. What needs to be done to make sure that artists like Leah Bell and Mimi Obansawin can take that next step in their careers?
Give them opportunities. Open the door. Invite them in. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing this Indigenous musician showcase, is to really promote their incredible artistic art form in the music. And hopefully people will book them at different locations. You
mentioned mentorship as well a few minutes ago, and mentorship is important for some of these younger emerging artists.
Absolutely, and that's why when we have Jace Martin, who's been in the scene in the music industry, as we all know, it's not exactly all, flowers out there. It's a difficult industry, and you need to learn how to navigate that industry. So having mentorships is just really key, and especially when you're young, like Leah, she's 18 years old, and just teaching them how to work on stage, how to interview, and that confidence, to build that confidence and self-esteem. So yeah, mentorship's really important.
You're also involved across the river at Art Park with the Strawberry Moon Festival. Yes. I know that's coming up. Maybe you can take a few moments and tell us about that.
We have actually ongoing programming all season long for Indigenous artists and performers. We're also doing the Circle, Indigenous musicians in the round, and that's starting in May 14th, and we go all the way till November there. Strawberry Moon Festival is going to be an incredible lineup. We're bringing in Blue Rodeo as our Canadian band, but also because Blue Rodeo is they're such advocates and supporters of Indigenous causes and rights, so it ties in beautifully like that. We're bringing in, I'm telling you, it blew me away. You know how you're talking about Logan Statz? This band is a Native Alaskan band, and I'm not going to get the name right correctly, but it's Pumia, and it's just so wonderful to be able to bring in these kind of talents from all over the country. And this year, something that's very dear and near to my heart is I'm going to be programming the opening with a tribute to honor Joanne Shenandoah, who unfortunately passed away in November. She was just an incredible artist, a lot like Buffy St. Marie in the US. She's very much of a spokesperson, advocate for Indigenous rights, but also an incredible artist and singer.
Sounds great as well. Saturday, April 9th for the Indigenous Artist Showcase. Michele-Elise Burnett, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.